We're all responsible. Each of us has a responsibility to protect CTCD's confidential data and information resources. Your participation and cooperation in CTC's security programs is critical to our institutional security goals and strategies. When you get a chance, take a look at the CTC Information Technology Security webpage. You can find that under the IT department on the faculty and staff webpage. Here's what it looks like. Okay. Information technology, IT security, got policy reviews, got spoofed emails, phone scammers, and then there are all these different links over here on the side that can help you out. All right. So there are 3 different classes of data here at CTC. The information is categorized into one of these 3 classes, and they are as follows. Class 1 is public information. It's information made available either to the public or to specific individuals who need it with few, if any, restrictions. The published class schedule is an example of Class 1 data or a syllabus. Class 2 is information with limited distribution. The loss, corruption, or unauthorized disclosure of this information would not affect the operational effectiveness of CTCD. A document detailing a fundraising strategy is an example of Class 2 data. And Class 3, this is private information, information that is considered confidential and protected from external access and unauthorized internet access. Personally identifiable information falls under this class of data. So loss, corruption, or unauthorized disclosure of PII, Class 3 information, would impair the business or research functions of CTCD, resulting in business, financial, or legal loss, or be a violation of federal or state laws or regulations or CTCD contracts. Data integrity is vital. An example of private information would be a student's academic record. Users will not distribute or make Class 2 or Class 3 information available to persons who are not authorized to access that information. Users will appropriately protect Class 2 or Class 3 information that is transmitted electronically, physically, or spoken in conversation from unauthorized interception. Class 2 or Class 3 documents will not be placed in recycle bins or trash cans. All such documents will be cross-shredded when discarded. Users will ensure Class 2 or Class 3 data is rendered unreadable when disposing of computers or removable media. You are responsible for knowing the privacy and confidentiality restrictions associated with any information to which you have access. You agree to safeguard information that is classified Class 2 or Class 3. Users may store Class 2 and Class 3 information on secure network drives provided by the Information Technology Division. Note that the CTC NAS network drives are not secure. These are the common shared drives, usually among departments, and putting Class 3 or Class 2 information on these shared drives is a violation of our privacy and confidentiality policies. Users will not transfer or store Class 2 or Class 3 information on removable or mobile devices without a method of encryption approved by IT. And we'll talk about some of those here in just a little while. Oh, looky there, it's review time again. Who is responsible for protecting your work computer? Would it be you, your supervisor, or the folks at IT? If you said D, both you and information technology folks, then you would be correct. Which class of data is the highest at CTC? Well, class 4 is obviously bigger, only by number. The highest class of data here at CTC, I'm guessing you were thinking class 3. And yeah, you'd be thinking the right thing. Which data class does personally identifiable information, or PII, fall under? Class 1, class 2, class 3, or maybe class 4? Class 4's got to be higher than class 3, right? Well, maybe some places, but here at CTC, class 3 is our highest classification, and that's what PII falls under. You can freely distribute class 1 and class 2 data. True or false? Yep, it's false. It's false. Protecting your computer. One way you can protect your computer is to make sure that it's up to date. This is one of the reasons we don't turn our computer off at the end of the day. We just log out or lock it. The IT division pushes updates to computers after hours. For this reason, it's imperative that you do not turn CTC computers off at the end of the day. IT recommends logging off of your computer at the end of the day. Another way to protect your computer system is to scan email attachments you receive for viruses. Even attachments you receive from other employees sent from their computer may contain viruses. So you should save and scan every email attachment. Okay? You should scan every email attachment before you open it. If an attachment contains a virus, all you have to do is open it to release the virus into your computer. You can safely save an email attachment to your computer, but don't open it yet. After the attachment is saved on your computer, open the document library, sometimes referred to as the file manager. Navigate to the saved attachment. Right-click the file name and select Scan with Sophos Endpoint from the pop-up menu. Here's a little video. From your inbox, you're going to open the email that contains the From your inbox, you're going to open the email that contains the attachment, then right From your inbox, you're going to open the email that contains the attachment, then right-click on the attachment and click Save As. Navigate to where you want to save the attachment. Once the attachment is saved, navigate to where you save that document, right-click on the file name and select Scan with Sophos Endpoint. Sophos will perform its scan and it'll come up and let you know how many scanned items there were and if it detected any threats. If 0 threats are found, then it's safe to open the attachment. At that point, you can close the Sophos window. All right, so again, if a virus is detected by Sophos, do not open the attachment. Contact the IT help desk for what actions you should take from there. All right, let's look at some storing and transmitting data. Class 1 and Class 2 data can be safely stored on individual computers or shared network drives on the CTC NAS network. right? Class 1 and Class 2. Class 1 and Class 2 can be safely stored on individual computers or shared network drives. Not Class 3. Private information, Class 3, should not be stored on an individual's computer or shared drives on the NAS01 server. If secure shared drives are needed, your Associate Deputy Chancellor or Dean will have to submit a request to IT for a share space drive folder. This includes portable memory devices such as flash drives and portable hard drives. Class 3 information such as Social Security numbers, passwords, and other potentially name-linked information should never be transmitted unless it is encrypted. If you must transmit Class 3 data, you must make necessary precautions to encrypt the data before transmission. The IT division recommends the sole use of the publicly available encryption tool, Encryption Wizard. Encryption Wizard is designed to encrypt documents, not storage devices. You can find the installation and use instructions on the IT Security Tech Tips webpage. Take a quick peek. There we go. Encryption Wizard quick guide. It looks like a long document, but these are just pictures, right? Mostly pictures. It's real easy to take care of, but it does require IT intervention. It does require IT intervention. If you use flash drives to transport files from computer to computer, the flash drive should be scanned for viruses every time files are added or it's used on a different computer, because you never know what the other computer may have. Okay, so you can open it up in your file directory and scan with Sophos just like we did the email attachment. Now look, to scan a flash drive, select the computer icon usually found on the desktop after inserting the flash drive. Right click on your flash drive's icon and on the drop down select Scan with Sophos Endpoint, and the scan should automatically start. Once the scan is finished, click Remove Risks Now if any malware has been detected. Otherwise, select Close. Encrypting your flash drive is another good way to protect data that will be transported. When you encrypt a drive, you are converting stored information, files and images and documents, into unreadable code that cannot be easily deciphered if you don't have the key. IT recommends you encrypt flash drives using BitLocker. BitLocker is an application that comes with Windows 10 and 11. Instructions can be found on the IT Security Tech Tips webpage. Here's a quick look. Okay, you download it's already in Windows, so it makes it pretty easy to take care of this stuff. I use it. It's pretty simple. Well, simple to get set into use. The hard part is remembering your passwords, because it does password protect the flash drive as well as encrypting it. Be prepared. Encryption can take a long time depending on the size of the storage device you are encrypting. All right, review time, folks. I should shut my computer down at the end of the day to prevent hackers from accessing it overnight. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? But you would be wrong if you said true. The correct answer to that is false. We need to leave the computers turned on so that security and other patches can be pushed from IT after hours. I should save my email attachments to my computer and conduct a Sophos virus scan on them before opening. Geez, that sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it, to save every attachment? It does sound like a lot of work. And the answer is true. You should save every attachment and scan it for viruses, because you just don't know where that other attachment's coming from. So you gotta for the protection of your computer. for the security of your files and information on that computer. It's always better to be safe than sorry. I can safely store Class 3 data on my computer because it has antivirus software installed. That's a big falsaroonie. No, 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 no. Do not store Class 3 data on your computer or personal device. I can safely send emails with Class 3 data as long as I use the encryption wizard. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, in this case, it is true. You can send emails as long as you use the encryption wizard. By default, CTC's email Outlook is not encrypted. Not a safe way to send Class 3. But if you use the encryption wizard, then you can send Class 3 information. If I choose to encrypt a flash drive, I should use which of the following encryption tools? Encryption Wizard, Smart Locker, Gem Locker, or BitLocker? Encryption Wizard sounds like a plausible correct answer. But I think we just talked about that one being used to encrypt emails, not a flash drive. For flash drives, we're going to use BitLocker. Comes with Windows, right? Comes with Windows. My coworkers can trust me with their computer login passwords so I can check their email for them. Whether they think they can trust you or not, you shouldn't be asking for it and they shouldn't be giving it. We should never share our passwords with anyone, not even IT. IT will never ask for and they have no need for your passwords. All right, let's look at some user security violations. There are many different actions we may take, either intentionally or unintentionally, that could be considered a security violation. Here are a few actions deemed violations that you may or may not be familiar with. Number 1, interfering with the operation of antivirus or malware detection software installed by IT. Don't be messing with the stuff that's installed there other than using it to check for viruses. Examining, copying, modifying, or deleting data or email that belongs to another employee. Number 3, intentionally operating any network intensive application that overloads the network. Okay, operating any network intensive application that overloads the network. Number 4, performing any unauthorized action that damages or disrupts a computing system, alters its normal performance, or causes it to malfunction. Number 5, making illegal copies of software licensed to CTC. Just because CTC has a license doesn't mean anybody and everybody can use it. And you certainly can't take it home and use it. Using CTCD-owned computer accounts, computer equipment, communications equipment, software, or networks for commercial or non-work related purposes. Interfering with the ability of others to utilize shared computing resources, such as deliberately deleting data from shared resources, moving shared files or folders without permission, or storing inappropriate material on shared drives or folders. Connecting any wireless device to the campus network without prior approval from the Information Technology Division. Number 9, revealing your account password to others except for the purpose of technical support by information technology personnel, or allowing use of your account by others such as family and other household members. Remember, IT will never request your username and password in an email or by phone. CTCD does not routinely intercept or monitor electronic mail, other electronic communications, or other data stored in electronic format. Capture and or reading of electronic communications and or other data stored in electronic format by technical staff or others is expressly prohibited except under certain circumstances. All users of CTCD computer and other communication equipment agreed that electronic mail, electronic communications, or data stored in electronic format with the use of CTCD resources may be made available for review by any authorized CTCD official for the purpose related to CTCD business. The Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, known as FERPA, of 1974 protects students against the release of some information. Electronic correspondence may become a student's record under FERPA and may be available to disclosure under that act. All use of electronic mail, including the use of sensitive or confidential information, will be consistent with FERPA. Users agree to comply with the following. Number 1, FERPA. Your account gives you access to student data. You must comply with all FERPA regulations regarding disclosure of student information. The laws of the state of Texas, the United States, and other regulatory agencies. This includes all applicable federal and state laws that govern the privacy and confidentiality of data, including but not limited to the Electronic Communications Privacy Act of 1986, the Health Insurance Information Portability and Accountability Act, known as HIPAA, the Foreign Corruption Practices Act, the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, and the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. The Texas Administrative Code 202 requirement to complete annual cybersecurity training, all CTCD policies and handbooks, failure to comply with the IT security policy and related policies will be reported to the CTCD Human Resources Department. The IT division may also revoke a user's account at any time if computer privileges are abused. Systems that appear to be infected or compromised will be immediately disconnected from the CTCD network until the system is scanned and cleared for use. The IT division will attempt to notify the user when his or her system is taken offline. Use agreement. Computing resources are to be used only for the college-related activities for which they are assigned. These resources include all computer files, email messages, internet usage, voicemail messages, and business telephone conversations on CTCD equipment. CTCD reserves the right to inspect any equipment and resources for prohibited files and downloads at any time and for any reason. The college reserves the right to limit, restrict, or extend computing privileges to access to its computing resources. Administrative units within the college may define additional procedures and conditions for which use of computing resources under their control, as long as they are consistent with this policy statement. All users of computing, network, and other information technology resources of the college are required to be ethical and respectful of the rights of others and the diversity of the college community. We must protect the confidentiality and integrity of institutional data and protect the integrity of passwords. Computer accounts and passwords are for use only by the individual users and should not be shared. It is our responsibility to ensure our computers are locked or logged off when leaving our desks. A keyboard shortcut for locking your computer is to hold down the Window key and press the L key. It's a good keyboard shortcut. We must regularly check the operating system and browser software for updates and security patches and scan our computer for known viruses and other malicious programs that may be present. It's always a good idea to back up your files and folders regularly and use resources responsibly and refrain from acts that waste resources or prevent others from using those resources. Of course, we must complete annual cybersecurity awareness training in April in accordance with Texas Administrative Code 202. And newsflash, they just added artificial intelligence training to this requirement as well. Some inappropriate uses of IT resources. Some of the things that we've always done for many years may actually violate CTCD policy. For example, have you used emoticons, wallpapers from the internet or our phones, or a third-party screensaver? First off, use of these does not present a professional image. Not to mention their use can result in loss of productivity, be offensive to others, and interfere with normal day-to-day work function. You can, however, use any of the wallpapers and screensavers that come with Microsoft Windows. You should limit the number of personal emails and never send jokes through email, no matter how innocent you may think the joke is. Some folks may be offended at your misuse of email. You should report anyone you encounter conducting this type of behavior to Human Resources. Storing personal data on college computers is considered a misuse of CTCD equipment. We should never generate spam or forward spam messages we receive. What is spam? Any email which is not official business could be considered spam if it's sent to a large number of recipients. Over time, spam will slowly degrade the network computing performance. Web surfing not related to your CTCD duties is inappropriate use of CTC computers, as is online shopping. If you log into a multi-user system such as Colleague 2 or more times, 2 or more concurrent sessions, you may prevent other users from having access to that computing resource. This is inappropriate. You shouldn't have 2 concurrent sessions. Listening to internet radio and other forms of non-work related streaming media consume network bandwidth, thus taking resources from essential business processes. Only use authorized instant messaging applications. At this time, Microsoft Teams is our authorized messaging, after it has been approved by your supervisor and IT. Be sure you only have authorized applications on your computer. Downloading or installing shareware, freeware screensavers, or games pose security risks to not only your computer but the entire CTCD network. If you have access to confidential data on a system, you must safeguard that information by not sharing it with third parties. Failure to do so poses a significant legal risk to the college and to you, the user. Peer-to-peer, or P2P, file sharing programs such as BitTorrent are used to illegally trade copyrighted music, movies, software, and games. Illegally copying or downloading copyrighted music, software, or movies, software piracy, is prohibited. It goes without saying that playing games on CTC computers is prohibited. These applications eat up excessive amounts of bandwidth, causing the network to be sluggish. It's never acceptable to keep confidential data on your desktop computer. Unattended personal computers face exposure to theft and unauthorized access. Users shall always lock or log off of their PCs when they are away from their desks. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computing resources can be compromised by the malicious or accidental damage of equipment, information, or data. Spilling coffee on a keyboard, dropping a laptop on the floor, or deleting files and data can result in resources and financial loss to the college. So we need to be extra extra careful when we're dealing with our CTC equipment. You should never access or send files, data, pictures, games, or jokes that contain pornographic, obscene, or lewd materials, derogatory remarks, slurs, or gestures that demean, ridicule, or torment an individual. Harassing behavior can create an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment, thus making way for the college and its employees to incur legal liability. These devices provide excellent convenience for storage and transportation of data. The possibility of losing such a device puts the college and individuals at risk for data theft if personally identifiable information is stored on the device. Individuals should use a virtual private network or VPN to access data stored by the college when working away from their desk or at remote locations. The absence of or lack of explicit reference to a specific site does not limit the extent of the application of this policy. We're talking about social networking policies. Where no policy or guideline exists, employees should use their professional judgment and take the most prudent action possible. Employees should consult their supervisor, human resources, IT, or community relations and marketing if uncertain how to apply these policies or how these policies apply. College employees authorized by their departments may use appropriate social media or social networking sites to conduct college business in accordance with established guidelines. Personal use of the college's electronic resources to access social media and social networking sites is to be limited and must not interfere with an individual's performance or compromise the functionality of the campus network. Personal blogs should have clear disclaimers that the views expressed by the author in the blog is the author's alone and do not represent the views of the college. Employees are prohibited from knowingly engaging in personal, social media, and networking with their subordinates or with students enrolled in the instructor's class. Remember that your online presence reflects the college. Employees should be aware that their actions captured via images, posts, or comments can reflect on the college. When engaging in online interactions, do not reference or cite faculty, staff, students, vendors, or guests without their express consent. Always respect copyright laws and reference and cite sources appropriately. Plagiarism applies online as well. All right, look at there, some review. We got some review time coming up here. If CTC purchases software, it can be used across the campus as needed. Well, sure, why not, right? CTC bought it. But the answer to this one is actually false. Just because CTC purchases a software doesn't mean anybody across campus can use it, because they don't necessarily purchase the software. They purchase a license to use that software. That's two different things. Shopping online using a CTC computer system is allowed as long as you're on a break. I'm going to say that's false. You shouldn't be shopping at work at all. The first thing I should do if I believe my computer has been infected with the virus is unplug it from the network. Is that the first thing that will come to your mind? Unplug it from the network? Maybe not, but this is true. If you think your computer is infected, disconnect it from the network so that it can't further infect anything on the network. After you've disconnected it from the network, then you call IT. Turning my monitor off when I leave my desk is sufficient security. No. You lock it or log off. Remember, Windows L, quick way to lock your computer. I can be friends with my supervisor on social media as long as they ask me and not me asking them. I'm not asking for it, but they ask me. That should be okay, right? No, 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 no. Supervisors should never be on social media with their subordinates. Subordinates should never be on social media with their supervisors. Okay? What are the consequences of misuse? Well, the bottom line is we're all responsible for maintaining computer and data security. Any employee found to have violated this policy will be subject to disciplinary action in accordance with the Human Resource Management Operating Policies and Procedures Manual up to and including termination of employment. All right, I'd like to thank you for your attention in this training. I know it's a bit long, and I apologize for that, but there's a lot of information that needs to be covered on this. But remember, it takes every CTCD employee to help maintain network and computer security. So please take these lessons and apply them every day. If you have any questions regarding this subject, please contact the IT Help Desk. If you have any questions or comments regarding the training itself, feel free to give me a call. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address. Feel free to give me a call. Shoot me an email. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. And we'll talk to you next time.